My name is Adrian Araiza. I'm a program director here at the Copley-Price YMCA, and I've been with the Y for a little over 8 years now, but just this past month I had the esteemed privilege of being able to work with the music class and facilitate our percussion lessons for the practicing musician.
Hi, I'm Conway. I am the active adult coordinator at the Copley-Price YMCA. I've been with the Y in a similar role for the last 9 years.
My name is Macaskill. I'm a member here at YMCA Copley-Price and also a volunteer for the music program.
Would you say that this program was designed well for all different backgrounds and levels?
It really was. It started at the beginning. It was very simple. People caught on to it very quickly. I think the design of it, the setup of it, the curriculum really kind of led to success.
As far as your experience with the students and the participants that were here with the program, what was the feedback that you got from them?
A lot of positive feedback. I feel like within a really quick amount of time, we were able to create a small community with these folks, and we were able to bring everyone together. By day 2, we're calling each other by name, and we're checking in on each other and seeing how things are doing outside of at the Y and outside of music class. So that was really what stood out to me is how quickly we were able to do that through this music program. And one thing that I really enjoyed was just being able to see the joy on the students' faces when they figured things out, when they were able to figure out, a technique thing or really hear something that they were going for in the music, or when we were able to put songs together on the glockenspiel. Students really like to see that and like to hear that and like to feel some progress. We got a lot of students who talked about the mental stimulation that it provides, being able to read music and learn music as a team and be able to perform it together at a certain capacity. So lots of positive feedback was given by the group that we were able to have this time around.
Because you're in such close contact with these members, what would you say the general reaction has been and the feedback that you've received from them?
Everything that I heard from the members was positive. They would love to see future music programs at the Y. They've come. I run into them in the hallways all the time. They keep coming up to me and saying, "What's the next step in this?" And I tell them that this was a pilot program and we have no next steps currently, but there are hopes that we will have some next steps.
How do you think that this type of a program benefits members?
I think every time we add a new class, people are going to bring their friends. They're gonna talk about it because it's something that hasn't been done before at a YMCA. What an incredible concept to teach music, in a place where people are exercising. But it was such a social. There's such a social aspect to it.
Do you see a music program like this being implemented at a YMCA actually helping with the retention of the members?
Sure. I mean, if you want to get anywhere in music, you're going to have to spend quite a while doing it. So, if there is that common goal of, trying to have for example, a Copley-Price YMCA concert one day, then that does take some time to get to. It's not something that you can have a 4-week pilot program and accomplish that feat. So that being said, I think that there kind of creates a want and a desire and a need to stick around to be able to reach that final goal and that final milestone with everybody. So I think it would be a great project to have at multiple YMCAs.
Because of all your experience here at the YMCA, how do you think that this type of a program benefits the retention rates for YMCA members?
I think any time that we can do programming that lets people be engaged, build community, and learn something, it's a stronger reason for them to stay at the Y.
In regards to people who are coming to the YMCA, looking at membership or considering other places to be a member of, do you feel like having a full functioning music program with 15, 20 instruments, do you feel like that's a factor that could actually keep people here at the YMCA and as a member?
Absolutely. Yeah, no other YMCA is doing that. And to be able to learn that many instruments, I have a feeling people are going to come here just for the music. Whereas they would come for the workout. And it's a great social atmosphere at the YMCA. And the YMCA has such a community aspect as well. Being able to have, I think it would be a complete, game changer People come here and go, wow, I can learn all these instruments. Where else can you go that you can learn all these instruments? And you're doing it at the YMCA. And so you already know a lot of people and you know a lot of the staff. And so have something that immense and that vast, I think would be incredible. It would give people a whole new reason to come to the YMCA. And maybe they go and they work out, but then they're taking a music class. And so many students have already told me, they're going back and they're telling their families what they did, and maybe they're renting the instruments and they're continuing on with learning, and it's incredible. I don't know any other place you can go where you can learn that many instruments and have such a detailed curriculum with that. High school band. I mean, I don't know where you even go. So to have that, I think would be wonderful I think that'd be a wonderful incentive for people to sign up at the Y.
How was your experience with the practicing musician team?
Yeah, I mean, practicing musician has the full team, I think, ready for you when you need them, and I think that's one of the benefits that we had in this program, all the way, top down from the founders to, the team boots on the ground here in San Diego. It seemed like anybody involved was readily available for us when we needed support, and we were able to have weekly check-ins with the team to make sure that we were all on the same page, we were all aligned in how the classes were going and what we could improve in the process in between.
What about your experience working with the practicing musician staff?
The crew behind it was incredible. They had everything in place and they knew exactly what we needed to do to get this program off the ground. The prep was set up so perfectly, it really put us in a position to succeed. It's like, here's the curriculum, here's what we do, and then the communication between the practicing musician staff and the YMCA staff was incredible. I mean, it was emails going back and forth on what we can do better, things that we're doing well. Let's talk about each class individually and how that went, and everything led to being able to improve the experience for the students.
Now, as somebody who's been here and worked in the coordination of programs, is it something that you've ever thought about, having a music program at the Y?
It's something that I've thought about, definitely, and it's always been something that's been difficult to try to execute. There's a lot that goes into music and teaching music, and it's not just something that you can decide to do one day. There's technicality that goes into it. There's musicianship and just learning how to read music and all of that aspect of it as well. So for a practicing musician to have a platform that kind of had all of that set up already, and just allowed us to then come in and work with the group and not have to worry about lesson plans or picking out pieces to learn and things like that. It really was kind of the perfect marriage to finally be able to actually execute on doing a music class, whereas before it just seemed like something that would be too much to take on for myself.
In your experience here with this music program pilot that we initiated, just tell us a little bit about your experience, what we learned, what we could do better, what was great.
There was a lot of learning. I've never done a music program before, and so the initial thought of having to find volunteers to teach the program was really daunting. The initial thoughts were to try to get 100 people to participate, and that was daunting. As it turned out, I was able to get 2 volunteers, one from staff and one from a member, and that came a little easier than I thought, and we settled on about 30 members, and we were able to fill the slots with those 30 members.
Wonderful, excellent. And what would be like your major takeaways from your experience?
Like I mentioned earlier, it was music and the YMCA have been 2 of my biggest loves and passions for a while now, and so for this program to be able to give me the platform to finally have those 2 things come together was really, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. It was really amazing for me to be able to accomplish and be able to bring my 2 loves to work, because it didn't really feel like work teaching those classes and being with those students. And again, I know that I've said this multiple times, but I really do just want to emphasize the amount of community that we were able to bring together, and the experience that was had by all. I mean, we had folks who were timid and in their shell on day 1, and by the end, it seemed like we were all friends. And so it was really, really cool to see that and be able to see folks open up and come out of their shells. And so I really think that a program like this could be beneficial to all of our YMCA's in making sure that we are providing a space for people to express themselves, not only physically and through our physical programs, but also through arts, because it's a dire need in our communities as well.